Previously on Unpacked.
Where did you meet this person?
A friend and colleague recommended the dating site.
He was so intelligent, polite, considerate, loving, and caring guy.
I need a wife. I don't need a girlfriend now.
Tshidi, Lerato, Moche, and Elijah Sikhosana all have their stories of finding prison love. This is part 2 of the conversation. Let's continue to unpack.
On your side, Elijah, how did you meet your person? Because now you went in ukwatile.
Yeah.
Or single and ukwatile.
Remember, everything started with trial after that. Barki punch, punching, whereby things a orange uniform. So I went to trial, and then a trial it's whereby showing it as things about lemas and babulala bonke labantu umangtola ifreedom yam. Unfortunately, as I was doing a pandang a sentence, so to 35 years imprisonment. So nang figure ngale e punching gulana ngengahlala khona phansi. I started to invite myself to have a meeting with myself. And I said to me, Elijah, if you wasn't born, what was the world will lose? Elijah, bona mapupo the time usakula. Usesene skatso achieve mapupo wakona. I said to myself, yes, I still have time to achieve my dreams. So I remember amakama wa mama the timing sakula. My mom said to me, my son, lendlela oyihamba yokuthi uphuze utshwala ubhema usesemncane angiyifuni la ekhaya. The only thing that I want from you, I want you to be educated so that you can ukwazi ukuthatha umamakho kule poverty akuyo. Ngathi I'm going to apply umthetho kaMamam in prison because now here in prison I'm not allowed ukuthi ngiye noma kuphi. So into engizoyenza ngizoya esikolweni. And then ngizoqala ngifunane nani ne-library ukuthi engakuphi. And I did exactly that. So, nangqala ngifunda it's whereby ngithola more things about me. Ngithola izinto bengacabanga ukuthi nginazo within me. And I said to myself, you know what? I need a wife. I don't need a girlfriend now. I need a wife. A wife who's going to assist me so that I can be able to bring what I have la emhlabeni. Kuze abantu abaningi bakwazi ukusizakala. So I'm not going to mention ezinye izinto because I will be in trouble at the end of the day. Remember, I'm still a prisoner, a free God. I
understand.
Yeah, so some of the things I'm not going to say them here. So I managed to ukuthi ngihlangane noSisi through a mutual friend. So uye washo uSisi ukuthi siyafunda ejele. And then nasifunda ejele we allowed ukuthi sibe nama computers and then sibe sikwazi ukuba ne-access ku-internet. So thina sizoyenza izinto zethu pretending as if siyafunda yet asifundi. Sesicreate ama-Facebook, sinama-WhatsApp kulezi zinto zethu lezi. So ngoba i-Facebook ngihlangane naye nge-mutual friend. So ngiloku ngiyambona lo sisi lona njalo nangena ku Facebook ngingene ngibhekane nezithombe zakhe ngimiyeke ngikhohle ngichubeke ngeyidadi sami kusasa futhi the very same thing nangiloku ngizohlangana nalo sisi inhliziyo yami izofika ime kulo sisi lo with this woman. And then I said to myself one day, she is my wife. This one is my wife. Okay, I invited her. She accepted my friend request. I said hi. She said hi. And then ngaya kuye ngabona inamba zakhe. Ngathona izinamba zakhe. Ngacela ngathi kuye sengitshontshe inamba zakho. Ngicela ukufonela kusasa. Why it's okay ungangifonela.
And by now she doesn't know you're in prison.
She doesn't know. So the following day ngagijima ngaye ku public phone. Ngamfonela. Sisi kunjani? Hayi ngiyaphila bhuti njani? Yawo Elijah lobo khuluma naye izolo angihleke. Avela hleke Elijah. Ngikhuluma naye izolo yathi bu serious basithi athi no Elijah ngibusy kwamanje. Busy kwamanje okay sharp ngikufonela nathi I don't know. But the only thing engizokutshela yona ngibusy kwamanje. Ngithi okay sharp. Ngimyeke the following day ngiyenza the very same thing ngimfonela. Sisi kunjani Elijah? Ahleke futhi Elijah give up. Ngisesebhizi namanje. Usesebhizi. It's okay. Nakunankinga.
We need to start being busy, ladies. The men will keep calling. Yes.
so until igcina Elijah, what is your story? Ngithi angina story mina. Ngizifunela umngane cha kwaphela. Zifunela umngane. Okay. Ngithi kahle kahle ngifuna ischeme athi as from today uzoba ischeme somewhere. Ngithi sharp si scheme mina nawe. And then
She still doesn't know you're in prison.
She don't know anything. So because ejele bengisebenza nokusebenza echapel bengclean ichapel. So ijele nalizovalwa thina botlena sibashiya ngaphandle. So after that ngizogijima ngipublic phone ngizothola i-hour. Nangithola i-hour ku public phone kulana ngikhuluma naye khona ithi lalela ke lo muntu okhuluma naye usejele azange ngibuze. But ngamtshela lalela sis le scheme sakho lesi sisejele le scheme sakho athi how usejele usounda umncane nje ngithi mhlambe kuwe ngimncane but not kubantwana bakithi kuwe mhlambe ngimncane kubakithi abantwana ngobhuti yini into ke kulethe ejele hayi ngimtshele yini into engilethe ejele okay ngingakusiza ngani ngithe ngifuna umngane ngisesiyikimi manje athi yes sesiyischeme so into engayenza laphana ngacreate iground ukuthi ngifuna ukumazi lo sisi lona ngifuna angazi because I've got dreams so I want to fulfill my dreams so if ngiletha lo sisi lo kulento enginaye she will be able to multiply what I have or uzokwazi ukubulala lento lena enginayo remember mina I don't need a girlfriend ngidinga umfazi ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi ngathi kuNkulunkulu sengiyazazi ukuthi ngubani labo sisi bahle ngaphandle and the way babahle ngakhona labo sisi nangifika ngaphandle ngizogcina ngidakwa ngingasazi ukuthi kumele ngikhethe bani and what I have angeke isakwazi ukuzaleka at the end of the day so I want to protect my baby give me a wife.
Wow.
So now I need to ask a question. At no point did she not believe you that you were not guilty?
Bengakamtsheli ukuthi ngiboshweleni. Azange futhi afunele ukwazi lo muntu ukuthi ngiboshweleni. So the only thing ebeseka interested kuye lo muntu engikhuluma naye lo ongakhayo izinto ezikhulumayo esizikhulumayo kahle kahle angaze ngazizwa la ngaphandle. Nalabafana la nalabafowethu laba aphila nabo ngaphandle akaze wazizwa lezi zinto lezo so after a year maybe angibuze kahle kahle uboshelweni
A year.
yes a year
Yeah.
and then I said I was falsely accused and wrongfully convicted to 35 years imprisonment. No, I believe you. Just like that, I believe you. Usounda njengomuntu right. And then again, nangiya nini after a year, ngiya ke ku Facebook, ngithi sengiphethe laptop yami, ngiyafunda, angisamtholi, ngiyamfonela angisamtholi. And I said, God, if is my wife, she will come back.
So, Tshidi, you have now decided you're going to go and meet this man because you work with the sister and you've been talking. You guys are comfortable with each other. You're going to go to prison. What happens?
All right. Then we go. When we get there, it's this huge building with barbed wire. And everyone is calm and relaxed. And now I start feeling anxious. You know, I'm sweating. My stomach is acting up. It was as if I had caught a virus or something because, you know, this environment is foreign to me. I've never been to a prison.
And just for a sec, was the sister not like Osi Oya guy?
No, I get it. Remember, she knew that she was taking me.
No, I know, but now it's really happening. Did she not say, do you know where you're going?
No, not really. We just had a 5-minute conversation where I asked her, Hori, what did your brother do? You know, what is the nature of the crime he committed? And then she said, it's not my place to
share.
Then I said, I asked, did he murder or rape anyone? And then she said no. But I still would have gone to see him even if she had said yes, you know?
Wow.
Yes, because I was curious. I mean, this guy has been very kind to me. So why should I now judge him? And he's there paying for whatever it is that he did. He's there to get rehabilitated. So I went and to visit him. So why should I judge him based on the nature of the crime he committed? So as we walk in there, I'm wearing my stilettos. I had a very expensive weave on. I'm walking in there as nervous as I was, walking in there as if I was walking into the Union Building to meet a president, that I was there to meet a prisoner whom I've never met. And we got to the waiting area, we registered, and we were told to take our seats, but I couldn't sit. I remained standing because I was just too nervous to sit. And for everyone else, it was normal. You know, everyone in the waiting area was having a chit-chat. It was about 50 people in that room. And an hour later, we were called into a searching booth. We were searched from head to toe. And that made me even more nervous because I had never been searched that way, you know, prison officials wearing gloves and everything. So it made me very uncomfortable. So, and then we went into the prison and I'm observing everything. Remember, it's my first time. And then we go to the tech shop and we didn't take anything other than our ID books and passes. We left phones and handbags in the car. So when we got to the tech shop, the sister wanted to buy him cigarettes. He's not a smoker, but he used cigarettes as a form of bartering in the prison. So we didn't
currency.
Yes, we didn't buy any food. We just bought cigarettes, and then we walked through this thick gate. And as soon as we walked into the visiting area, I noticed cameras, and on my right there was a control room with prison officials stationed there. That made me even more nervous, you know. And then we were then ushered to the sitting area. And there was about a meter distance or half a meter distance between visitors and prisoners. You know, I was not expecting to see so many people in the visiting area, because when you watch, you know, movies where they show prisons, it's like there's a table between the visitors and it's only the visitor and the prisoner in one room and an official, you know. But there it was about 50 other people apart from the prison officials. So it made me even more uncomfortable. So we then sat down and waited for him for about 30 minutes. And eventually I heard a sound of a gate opening. And when I turned and looked up, I saw this tall guy, muscular, you know, very handsome man walking towards us with his beard and mustache trimmed in an O-shape. He looked very good. He looked like he had just walked out of a magazine. You know, he was very handsome, very shakadelic, you know, and he's walking towards us with a big smile on his face. So it was obvious that it's him. And then he greets everyone, with me being the last. And he then took a seat and grabbed my hand. And he then kissed my hand and looked at me and said, you look as beautiful as the sound of your voice. Thank you for coming to see me. I really appreciate it. I wish I could kiss you on the lips, but I'm just showing respect for my sister. And then he looked up, you know, because tears filled his eyes. So he looked up to hide the gloss in his eyes. I don't know if anyone else noticed, because it was me, his sister, brother, and a friend. So I don't think they noticed, but I saw the tears in his eyes, and then he quickly looked up. And we were there for an hour, and he was having a conversation with all of us. So that hour went by very quick. So the visit ended, and we got up. He hugged everyone, with me being the last again. Then he lifted me up with one hand, right? And no one had ever lifted me up except my dad, you know? So now I'm experiencing all these things from a prisoner.
O tshamaegile.
Ke tshamaegile. Ke tswa- bona letsohole, even now, this finger is swollen. From being hit against the wall. So in winter, it acts up. So now, he takes the same hand, Walisuna, the same hand that was banged against the wall. And this is a man who committed a crime. And then the man who has never set foot in prison had the same hand. And then this same man, Untrita Ogariki Taylor, the bold and the beautiful.
Hi, Taylor.
I understand that. There's a prisoner Yeah?
Yes.
O apere di prison uniform ya emongangile. O bona di muscle tsele di tswile tattoo dia bona.
You guys are a movie.
He smells good. Yes.
I want to watch this movie. But now tell me, when did it become official? Where he says, I want you Khorobe Mutwaka, and it's done.
Okay, bona half it's on then he whispers, please come back next week because I know so much about you and then you know very little about me. I'll arrange with one of my friends to bring you, because we really need to talk. And then okay, but I didn't want to make it obvious to him or he had swept me off my feet. Okay, well, yeah, I'll come. But I mean, who wouldn't go back for more love? Who wouldn't? I didn't go back to get to know him better. I went back for more kisses on the head and being lifted up, you know. I almost touched the ceiling of the prison, but
listen, I'm very enamored and taken up with your story. Like, your story needs its own movie, and I wish we could get more detail.
Yes.
Yo, Lerato, when did you guys become official?
So we communicated via telephone and emails and we started in April and prison in a family day. Twice a year. So the by hosta got June and towards the end of the year. So we became official at Sega a family day. That was the first time Kiako prison to meet Liena. After communicating Liena ka phone, the emails and everything else for over a month. And then I only went to see him first week of June, Banale Family Day. My first time go Drongo. And then I just remembered now from what Elijah said, how he had been praying for a wife and not a girlfriend. That's what my lover used to say to me, that he had been praying for Musadi Omukutwane like him because he's short or seeing too chubby. And he used to tell me, something like yeah, so got family day, first day, go from Joburg. I had to take 7 taxis to get to prison.
7 taxis.
Yeah.
Yes, 7 taxis. 7 literally to get to my destination. And I was if I can, earlier, left my home 5 a.m. so that I get there early because Babafa, I think it's 5 to 6 hours. If you're there from 7 and then Barakuba at 2 o'clock. So we had enough time to get to know each other and see each other face to face and talk about, more other things.
So it was a first date, basically.
Yes.
It was a first date, yes. Yeah, family day. It was nice, though. It was nice.
I mean, everybody, including me, I want to know, when you go to prison for a first date, because it's a new experience, you kind of have no expectations.
Yeah.
But do you really still process that as like, that was our first date?
Well, yeah, it is. It was. A whole lot of processes that I had to learn. I had to get the prison number because you need that to be able to enter and so that they know who you're there to see. All of that info, I needed it up front. Prison number, ID number. But luckily for me, because it was family day, there were a whole lot of family members who went to see and spend time with their family members as well. So they were very helpful. When I arrived, some never no, you need to do this first. You fill in a form, bankadimele pen because I didn't think to bring pen or whatever. Ufila ini smaller and sleepy with the details. And babang batla so why which but be that medium. Only medium A and a B the section is just a thing, but they are divided. And then like a medium B.
Can I just ask, was he in your higher security because his crime was quite a serious crime?
No, nah, because of Kimberley. When he was sentenced, he was Kimberley. Stay there a few years for Kimberley prison. And that's where I lose the parents to high. Got 20 when they were on their way to see him.
Wow.
They unfortunately were involved in a car accident because it was too far. I mean, he is a Gauteng guy and Bamu station go Kimberley. It's too far to travel for the family. But eventually, after that, he was then transferred back to Gauteng. Too little, too late. Because now basadi ba gagwe ne ba sa tlhole ba le teng. So because of good behavior and Nali involved more a lot of activities in Mokotronkong like Koskolo, na teacher, Nali chairperson, some of these committees. I remember I attended World AIDS Day. By Banale a function there. He invited us to Chomizahai and we went to support. So for good behavior, Bamutusiko maximum, Bamisako medium. So medium B, ki vale baba saying, baba behave and handle. And then maximum then quality baba consider one dangerous. So I was going to be medium B. So we went, get the address. He specifically asked me to put on a dress.
The blue dress.
No, not the Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon.
What dress?
I had another dress, but Leonie, sorry, Mupako sin, the Nam, Rakimita Brapa. Kimita Brapakos because Rakan Mupako, very body hugging dress. So, and what interesting enough, on that day, I also met his 2 elder brothers. They wanted to surprise him and Bafi Tamo, and we spent the day. Tshidi would know how braiwa you buy. They get to eat food. As I pay one kamo tronco, but they indulge. God, different cakes, cool drinks, bride, spend time with family, running around, community tenting. It's fun day. It's just a fella for sometimes nako it go too quickly. Before you know it, it's 2 o'clock and then balik over. And then I remember Haba Mubita. I did the vendor greeting.
Nda,
yes.
Yeah.
And that also scored 3 points, Yeah.
I have to be honest with you, Lerato. Of all the stories, I think I'm battling with your story, and maybe because I wasn't in that space of having feelings for somebody, and feeling charmed by somebody or taken up by somebody, knowing something that they did. I'm struggling with that, and I'm sure there are people at home who also are struggling with the fact that, so you kept going back, knowing what this person did, even though you say, yes, they're serving time, they're paying their dues, they explain their situation. So what was it that kept you going there? Because maybe some people are going to think you are desperate for love, that you had to go look in prison.
For my take is, honestly, a lot of people who still get away with doing a lot of bad things. And the only difference between Yena and those people, he's doing time for the wrong that he did. And Babalinka Montle, they were not caught. Hence Babalinka Montle, but they are just as bad, or maybe even worse.
No, and I hear that. I just hope that you are aware of how difficult it is to fathom when you're not in that situation. You know, not any judgment on you, but just the thought that it's difficult to think that somebody would choose to be in that situation. So even for me, the fact that, you know, all these documentaries I've watched about prison love, for me to choose to be in a difficult situation where if I miss somebody, I can't just go see them. So even if we forget why they're there, I can't just visit you when I want to visit you. I have to phone at specific hours, or I have to now be stopping for cigarettes, you know, so you have your contraband for currency, or that, you know, that I struggle with, that why would you choose a harder road when love in itself is already difficult? And I think that's what we struggle with.
Yeah. And can I respond to that? And I'd like to respond on behalf of all those women who are in relationships with men who are incarcerated. Look, no one wakes up in the morning and says, "Ooh, I need a man and I'm going to go shopping in prison." It doesn't happen that way, you know? And most of these women, they are very broken. They've been disappointed, women like us, by men in society. You heard when Lerato introduced her story, she mentioned that she had given up on love. I had also come from a very bad marriage. I've never come across a woman who will say, "Nah, I'm happy, you know, I'm in a good space. I just decided to come look for a man in prison." It doesn't happen that way. It's because we are broken. And, you know, when you are broken, you need bandages. You need an ointment for your wounds, right? And when you are broken, you attract someone who is as broken as you are, or even more. And then those guys, they know how to charm us. You understand?
But of course he has time to charm you. Exactly. He's not going to work like the normal guy. He's not facing traffic in the morning. He's got time.
Yes. And then when unida
I know Elijah's laughing because he's like, all I had all day was time to write these lines.
Of course. And then you know, that's the thing. And then it's like bangel, most of them, because very few of them have good intentions. And then it's like they can smell a vulnerable woman from a distance, or vulnerable. They know. It's like they can smell you from a distance, or lahlile. And then unfortunately, we go in there looking for love. We go in there looking for something we didn't find outside of prison. So a broken person doesn't function under the same mindset as when I was like, I'm no longer broken. There is no way that I would go for a prisoner or for a long distance relationship or for a relationship. Actually, I'm single. Because
I'm so glad you explained it the way you explained it, because somebody at home was thinking, are these people not broken? And you said it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it came from you.
Yes, because we make choices and decisions, and then wherever you find yourself in life is because of the choices and the decisions that you make. But now bear in mind that a person who is broken, their mindset, so the decision making, it's not sound. It's not. Understand? So I will intimacy, how not the long trips Lerato and I, the partner sound and nearly detained in the same prison. So Lena, I used to take 6 taxis to go there. And then it was nothing. I left my home at 5 o'clock to be there at 8. Well, this is 3 times or twice a month. I didn't mind. I didn't at all. He was feeding me.
No, it makes sense, and I get it. I completely get it.
Yes.
So, Elijah, I mean, the ladies have shared their stories, obviously, them being the ones going to prison. Your wife-to-be, that you're hoping was your wife-to-be, disappears. What happens?
After 8 months, 6 months or 8 months, when I log into my computer, before I go to my studies, I went to my Facebook page. I saw her invite. I said, God, she came back.
So in the 6 months, you were not talking to other girls?
Yes, I was. I was focusing on my studies and cultivating my gift. So I was focusing on that.
And what was your gift?
Talking, to write books. Yes. So when I saw her invite, I said, she came back. She is the one. So I accepted her invite, and then I said hi. She gave me her new numbers. And then later, I ran again to public phones. Hey, Mokoe, kwenzakaleni kanti? No, bangithathele phone eJozi. So bengasana phone na iPhone entsha. So uzosebenzisa le number le. Okay, we start.
6 months, bangithathele phone.
Bekangana ya uthi bamthathele phone yena. Usho kanjalo. So okay, siqhubeke sikhulume ke nasikhuluma. I told her lento yenzeke automatically. I told her ukuthi ngimdinga kangakanani empilweni yami. And then uchazani la empilweni yami. So azange ngiphendule ngaleso sikhathi wathi kimi, you know what, Elijah, I'm not going to say anything to you now. I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no to you. So into khona ngizotshela yona ngizwile into ekhulumile. So singahlukana manje vele ngidrop phone. Okay, when times goes on, Saturday ngezwa ngibizwa Sikhosana. I mean, angilindanga visit mas namhlanje. Visit namhlanje? Angilindanga visit. Nangifika nangiyalusisi lohle lapha. Nalelo bonilo leli bengilwenza ligijimisa. Hayi ngempela fike ngihlale naye ke ngimake sihlale phansi sikhuluma.
So she surprised you?
She surprised me. Okay, sikhulume ke ayisizwane ke ngimnike ke ama principles wami ukuthi lalela mina ngiyindoda ephila ngama principles. Now my principles wami. Uzokwazi wena ukuconnect to the voice of my principles. I don't have a problem. For the fact that you are a God-fearing man. So everything that I need from you, ikona. So let's continue. So ngathi ke I'm going to pay a dowry. So my books while I was in prison was thengisa kamnandi.
So you had written your story in prison,
yes,
about being wrongfully incarcerated?
Yeah, but not exactly. I just took there and there a story some
to protect yourself.
Yeah, it's self-development books.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so my books was doing so brilliant well. So I've been busy save your money. So nasega figure in I called my uncles. I said, Malum, ngifuna ukulobola manje. Ungazosihlanyela wena mshana. Ulobola bani usejele? Ngithi malume ngifuna ukulobola manje. Ngimtholile umfazi.
Wait, sorry. It's not a laughing matter, but the fact that they say Wakanya, and I get it. Because if somebody's in jail saying, uncle, the uncles are like, where are we going? You know, are we also going to prison? And on top of that, how long had you been in jail by this time?
By this time?
Yeah, no, by that time when you called your uncle.
Beseng na boma 14 years.
Yo, so you approaching halfway of your sentence?
Yeah.
Sure.
So they said, mchana ungazodlala wena. Ile hasho akaligibila, wazi ukuthi le hasho liyakhiqiza or kanjani. Nawuqeda uzothatha imali yakaSikhosana uyise le ungazodlala ngathi mchana. Ithi uncle akusimali yenu niyenza umsebenzi wenu njengabo malume. So I said, it's okay. Let me talk with my mom. I spoke with my mom and my mom said to me, mfana wami, if uNkulunkulu kamampela, everything is uhamba smooth. So don't stress about your uncles. So I will speak with them. And umama khulume nabo, and then after that babuye kimi abomalume bathi mchana kunankinga. Siyayibhala ke incwadi siyisa kaMthethi ke manje. Ngithi it's okay uncle bayibhale incwadi and then bahambe ke bayolobola ngilo ngisesejele. So izinto zami zihambe kahle. So nangiphuma nginomfazi, ngiphume-ke ngishade futhi after that.
So did you have a prison wedding, like a signing or anything?
No, sengisayine sengingaphandle. The
When
only
did you
thing-
get released?
14 November 2019.
So how many years had you served?
15 and a half years in prison.
Were you exonerated or were you released on good behavior?
Good behavior.
Yo. So you never got the justice of somebody saying, okay, we made a mistake.
No, I never got it. I never got it. You know, sister, you need to understand, Noguti, there are certain things that you need to go through them in order for you to be what you're called to be. You understand? Because they need to lean on you. So they can't lean on you if when you were not trained. You are supposed to be trained in order for you to help abanye. So it was my journey. Bokumele ngiye laphayana. Noma ngiyathanda bengathandi, I was supposed to go there in order for me to be what I am today.
Did she marry you or agree to marry you with the understanding that you're still going to be there for 10 more years at that time?
Yeah, I told her, good lalela. Mina ngizoya ngaphandle ngesikhathi esithize. Wathi kimi lalela la, Elijah. Even if you can come after 5 years, I don't care. I'm going to be your wife.
That's commitment. That's commitment. Yo, Lerato, so where are you today in terms of your relationship status with your prison lover?
Where are we? we're not talking.
Where is he?
He's out. He moved into his parents' house in Pretoria. We got back together. We lived together briefly last year, and during the whole lockdown stuff, and he locked me up. I have a 2-week-old little prison lover son in the bedroom. Yeah, we're not in good space. I think, as I was telling Tshidi yesterday, that my sister-in-law said she thinks that he's going through adolescent stage. Remember, he went into prison when he was 22. And he came out when he was about to turn 40. So that life experience is missed. Now, I've been out living my life, and our experiences are very different. When he went to prison, he learned to survive. Me now out here, I came across a whole lot of things which I learned from, and then I became the person that I am. So there's a bit of a gap which he's trying to catch up on. That is a bit of conflict between the two of us.
I just want to be sure I heard you correctly. Was he violent?
No, he's not violent.
So he was not violent towards you?
He's never been violent towards me. I think he's trying to put pieces of his life together.
But you eventually did get married.
We did in 2017 while he was still in prison. But now he's out and kind of realizing that life outside of prison is a lot different from what he has seen on the news, on TV, or read about. It's different from what to experience and to read. Now you have to be a father and to be present, and there are too many pieces of your life that are missing. Things have changed. When he went in, there was no Wonder Park Mall. Now he comes out, there's Wonder Park Mall. His friends are all successful. They married with kids, have families. They've been through all these ups and downs, started relationships and family and what have you. And I think what I decided is to give him that space to get to that place by himself, to figure things out on his own, to play that catch up on his own, because I tried to fill in the blanks for him. It didn't work out. It was like I was trying to control him, or what him lead and try to be this person or Miss Know-it-all. But that was not the intention. So I decided, you know what? I need to step back so he can figure things out on his own. He's never worked for anybody. He doesn't know what it's like to have a job. He doesn't know what it's like to either run a business. He's learning all of these things all at once.
So technically, though, you are still married?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
Customary.
Yes. Tshidi,
Customary.
in terms of your relationship status, where do you find yourself?
Yeah. So unfortunately, he came back and became something else.
As in, he came out of prison?
Yes, because when he was in prison, he was very consistent in loving me, treating me right. I was his queen. He was my king. I was his ride or die. He treated me like a queen, like his egg. Well, when I received roses from him while he was in prison, he would arrange with the florist and deliver the roses at my place of work. He would make the arrangements with his own money. I received chocolates from him. I received gifts. He would send his relatives to take me out for dinners and everything. He was involved. And we even got engaged when he was in prison. He wanted to do the same thing Elijah wanted to do, to send his elders to my home to pay lobola, but his grandmother talked him out of it. She thought it would be disrespectful of him to do that while he's in prison. The least they could do, my parents. Unfortunately, my parents were in support of the relationship, unlike friends and other family members. They were against the relationship. So now, when he came out, now I'm expecting...
Was this good behavior or time was served and done?
No, time was served and done. So he got out on parole. I get, because he was serving half of his sentence. Yeah. But he was released 2 months before because of good behavior, because he was studying. He was studying while he was in prison. He was playing sports. He was writing a book. He was also working. So he was very active, And then that is what made me stay in the relationship, because he was focused. So now when he comes out, I'm expecting, we are going to change the world together. We are going to build an empire. And I'm waiting for him to live the promises that he made to me. He made promises to me. And those promises were backed up by his actions, because una actor, like he was showing me every single day, actions, it's a high. He gave me reasons to continue waiting for him. So I waited for him for 4 years, right? 4.5 years. So when he comes out, now I'm expecting we are continuing more, and I'm waiting to see him in action. So now, what changed? The man who was consistent in loving me, in treating me right when he was in prison, he comes back and becomes consistent in hating me. So he made sure I received both his sides, bad and good, in abundance, And when I speak of him, I always say he's very gifted, because in everything that he does, he's consistent. So he was consistent in loving me. Now he becomes consistent in hating me. So he comes out, he has a score to settle. It almost felt as if I did something to him, and then now it's time for vendetta, because I would often ask, what did I do to you? Why do you treat me this way? Because now he comes out, he's under so much pressure. He feels he's missed out on so much. He needs to catch up. His peers, inferior, but driver the taxi, are now superior. And
it's the same as what Lerato was saying.
Yes.
Is that obviously a person comes out, they are almost the person that went into prison, but the world has changed, the life has changed.
Everything has changed.
Yes.
I remember when we went for our weekend visit, because a month before his release, we went for a weekend visit. While we were in the car, like honestly comfortable, because I feel like the guy who was driving us was speeder when he wasn't. Like Moche, and even everything was so overwhelming. Just that moment, we can visit. We went to Mainland Mall. He went to the bathroom five to 10 times. Like in 10 minutes, I get to the bathroom, hey guy, because he was so anxious. That being in the mall for him was something else. It's foreign. He hasn't been to the mall in 8.5 years. So understand. So if Opala could handle like that, what more? The pressure now. He's now living in the same environment.
So in essence, the two of you, the relationship ended.
The relationship ended.
Yes.
Eventually.
Yes.
After me going back and forth.
And trying.
I eventually gave up.
Because the thing is, I would love to hear all of the details. Unfortunately, we don't have the time.
Yes.
So I'm going to wrap up with you, Elijah.
Yeah.
I mean, the two ladies have already said what their issues have been with their relationships being, or relationship status being where they are, and the fact that a person comes out of prison a different person, basically. The same but different, and having to, now adjust in that world. Where did your relationship end?
No, my relationship yinhle kabi sisi. Ngimnandi kakhulu emzini wami. Sijabulile emzini wami. Kahle uthando lwami nonkosikazi wami likhula each and every minute, each and every second, each and every hour. Sikahle kakhulu. So before ngibuyela emuva, that something usithila ayikhulumile engifuna ukuthi even nalaba ebazoyizwa lento ayishilo iphutha ebalenzayo bomama in most cases. So they want to love instead of being loved. So bagijimisa uthando ngoba nina, you are not made ukuthi nithande, you are made to be loved. So baya emajele labo mama laba ngenxa ukuthi bafuna uthando. So automatically bazohetheka nabafika lapha, because most of the prisoners bazidlalela labantu. Abanendaba nani bayayidlalela labantu. Number one, you need to understand ejele umuntu osejele expensive. Number one, mele abe ne-cosmetic. And then number two, mele abe namateki, abe nama-tracksuit. And abagqoki noma imaphi amateki labantu. Bagqoka amalabel, ama-tracksuit wabo. So nonke unosisi wani we-cosmetic, unosisi wani wama-tracksuit, unosisi wamateki, unosisi wani we-Shoprite.
Yes.
So wena na uya laphayana uthi ufuna uthando, angeke ulithole, uzoshayeka at the end of the day.
But
You are walking into a trap, and I'm glad he raised it, because now when Lerato continue, you are walking into a trap. Baribiza the lift.
No, but the reason I don't want this pod to get a life of its own, because that's a whole another episode.
And then before you wrap up, can I just mention Lerato and I had a different experience. Our partners were very different. They actually stepped in as providers in the relationship. They were taking
while
care
they
of
were
us.
in jail.
While they were in jail, they never expected anything from us. And on my side, fortunately, we were blessed with a child, so we share a boy, and he's there. He's taking good care of the child. He's a good father. So
Yo, guys. So much has happened.
Yes.
I don't know how to even, and I still have so many questions, but I have to thank all of you. Lerato, Tshidi, Elijah, thank you so much for coming on Unpacked, just to have this discussion around prison love. And I know there are many details we could have delved into, but I think the crux of the story is that you really can't judge a situation, you can't judge a person, and you don't know where you're going to find yourself, because as you rightfully said, Tshidi, nobody wakes up one day and suddenly says, I want to be in a relationship with someone in prison. In the case of yourself, where you found yourself wrongfully incarcerated, you didn't go in there thinking you're going to find love, but you came out with a wife that you are happy with. So thank you so much to the three of you for having this discussion with us. #Unpacked with Relebogile. I hope you've been enlightened and seen another side of the discussion when it comes to love. And yes, I still am a little bit baffled, as I'm sure some of you are with some of the questions, but that's human nature. And I guess love really doesn't have any real answers. We'll chat on the socials. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Next time on Unpacked.
He took my panties off and he was already naked under the blankets. And on that night, my father raped me.
So you went and confronted him about what he was doing, because at the time you weren't aware that what he was doing was wrong.
Unpacked with Relebogile Mabotja. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 p.m. on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Television edited broadcasts weekdays at 5 p.m. Open up to S3.